Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of RT Talk. I am Michael Cool, and I am back, as always, with another episode here. As you've already noticed, I am by myself this week, and if you listen to Out in the Grapes from this past Wednesday, you already are kind of keen to this. But yes, Doug had some family issues that he had to attend to, so he is not here for this one. And the plan was to have Renee here to fill in, but she ended up getting a migraine. And that's our entire depth chart. So we ran out of people immediately. So it's just me. But I will hopefully be able to hold this down by myself. And what I think is the shirt I wore last episode. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't look. But I think it is. But this week I am going to be talking about an email that's going around that people think is a scam or are worried that's a scam from Rooster Teeth. The Rooster Teeth Spring Event Series. Jack's new podcast, which has been getting teased and everything for a while now. A funny update with the kface Twitter account. And then basically just some more information on more shows that are rolling out and they're doing live and in the studio. So, and before I get into the email scam thing, I do want to say that it's possible, because I am recording this a little bit early, it's possible that you may see Future Mike be injected in here at some point to talk about something that maybe happened between now and then when the episode comes out. So there might be a sudden cut of me wearing a different shirt probably. But just be prepared for that. So let's actually get into the email kind of scam or concerned email that people were getting. I've seen this mostly on the subreddit, but there is an email that's been getting sent around, I guess, to first members. I have not gotten it, actually. Or if I did, maybe I just didn't even notice. Maybe I thought it was something else. But the email says, participate in Rooster Teeth's paid research. The actual, I think it's like the email address, like the email header, research is spelled incorrectly. The actual email reads, Rooster Teeth wants to get to know you better. We will be conducting focus groups to talk about your favorite content types, engagement with the company and the talent, as well as other things you enjoy in terms of entertainment. Selected participants will receive a $50 Rooster Teeth store credit in exchange for their time. We will be partnering with WGSN Mindset, and then in parentheses there is a link to what I'm assuming is just their website, and it says for this research. Please feel free to voice your opinions and help us shape the future of Rooster Teeth. We look forward to getting to know you better. And then it says, follow this link to the survey, and then it's a hyperlink that says take the survey. And this is, or copy and paste the URL below. I can't read right now for some reason. Into your internet browser, and then there's a long URL there. So basically, since it has a bunch of links in it and its research is misspelled, it looks like a scam email. Now, like I said, this has popped up on the subreddit. There's been several people that have made a post about it. But in the one post, the one I pulled up right now, Barbara actually came in and said that it's legit. It is a real thing that they're doing. They're trying to collect information for market research and obviously get to know what people are watching, what they like about content, and what they don't like, and everything else. Like I said, I don't think I've received the email, so I'm not sure what the questionnaire or anything is about, or like the survey. So I'm not sure like what the kind of questions they're asking, but if you are someone out there who got it and maybe you were concerned about it, just know that it is a legit email. And some of the people that were talking about and what, obviously I just went through like some of the stuff that makes it look a little suspicious for being a scam email. Some of the other people were pointing out too that there is no like logo or branding in the image. That the fact that things are misspelled and there is so many links does make it look like a fake spam email. Because I know it's one of the things that for my job, I know I've had to be trained on it. I mean, if you've been on the internet for long enough, you probably know some of the. I'm trying to resize windows here as I'm talking, so sorry, I'm a little distracted. But if you've been on the internet long enough, then you already know some of the things, the scams and stuff that people try to pull off in these different emails. But I know through work some of the stuff that we always have to watch out for in emails from like external sources, but it's a very common thing for scams or scam artists or whatever you want to call them to send you something like a big one I know is from Amazon. It'll be an email that's meant to, or it's like drawn up to look like an email from Amazon, and it'll say like your order is confirmed, and then it would be like a TV or something for like $500, and then it'll have a link that'll say something like, if you did not make this purchase, follow this link or something like that. And then obviously for 90% of the people, they're not gonna fall for that, but that 10% is all it takes, and they will click on it, and then they get inside your computer or whatever it is, whatever their next level their scam is. Because there's a lot of great videos out there of people messing with scammers and reverse kind of hacking them and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very detailed and fucking god awful world of scam. So it's like, I understand why a lot of people thought it was a scam, because the fact that it's misspelled is a red flag right out of the gate. And it's not like a huge misspelling. I know from like some of the scam emails I've gotten, there's been a lot more misspellings. I didn't notice if there was one anywhere else in here, but it's just something that's popped up several times in the last, I don't know, maybe the last 2 or 3 days, possibly. Like this one's from a day ago, this post. So, it's just something that I guess to keep an eye out for if you do get it, to know that it is something that they are actually doing. And it's not something to be alarmed about, that if you are selected to participate in their research that they're doing, then you won't be robbed of your computer or your money. It's just, they're just trying to collect information. But I felt like that was kind of like the most, I don't know, I guess pressing lead story, just because it is something to be concerned about, that possibly you're being scammed or ripped off or something. I know for me, I had, talking about scams, because someone's had my email for a long time. So like, I've been signed up for like TripAdvisor and stuff, and I'll just get random emails about like, oh, here's a list of hotels in Peru or whatever. And I've never inquired about hotels in Peru, but someone's had my email for a long time, and I guess they've used that to find other things that I have, like for instance my Venmo. And there was one day where I kept getting this call while I was at work from a number I didn't know, and I eventually just answered it the one time, and they said that they were Venmo, and that they had noticed some suspicious activity on my card, my account. And at that point, I had gotten several times that someone had tried to get into my Venmo, like for months and months before this. But I have like I have a PIN code on my Venmo, I have a password on my Venmo, and I have like texting a code to my Venmo. So I have like 3 layers that they would have to get through. So basically it just says there was a sign-in attempt on your Venmo. And so like every time it says that there's a sign-in attempt, I'm like, well, they're not really going to get through. But like I said, that happened for months and months. Eventually I got this call, and they said they were from Venmo, and there was suspicious activity on my account. So I was like, oh, that's great. So I guess maybe someone did actually get through some layers of that or something. And they said that they had made a purchase of, I forget, it was like $250 or something. And they asked if that was me. And I was like, no, but I also know that I get bank alerts. So anytime I spend any money at all, I get a message that says a transaction of such and such was approved, at this point or whatever. And I didn't get anything. So I was very suspicious of that. And then they were trying to, or they were asking me if I made that purchase. And I said no. And they said, okay, well, let's verify like who you are. So we're going to send you a one-time code that I need you to read to me to verify that you are who you say you are, which is kind of funny that they wanted you to accept or decline the purchase first and then verify who you were. Like, it's not even that smart of a scam or, a gotcha thing. But what's funny is that when I got that message, what they were effectively doing was that they were sitting on a login page with my email, and they were clicking on the forgot password. So when you forget your password, they send you a code to verify who you are, and then you're able to reset your password. So these people were sitting there ready to send the code, or ready to like log into my account basically, or try to. So when they were hitting forget password, it's sending me the code, and they wanted me to read them the code so that they could circumvent my account and actually get in. Now, if they would have got in, honestly, the amount of money they would have got would not have been that much. I mean, I don't keep a lot of money in my checking account anyway, so it's like they wouldn't be able to get that much that's in there. So, but I was just like, but what's funny is that when you get that message from Venmo, it says that, like, this is a security code. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, this is a security code, and Venmo will never ask you for this code. If anyone is asking you for this code, it's a scam, which I thought was hilarious. And I was like, immediately, I was like, okay. I just hung up, and then I blocked, or I tried to block the number. They called back immediately, and I just blocked or declined the call, and then I blocked the number, and they tried that again like 2 or 3 other times. So it's they're very crafty in the way that they will go about the scams, and they'll pick companies like Rooster Teeth sometimes that are, it's not like Chase Bank or, whatever you want to say. It's not like these huge enterprises. Sometimes it's in terms of like overall business, it's a smaller company like Rooster Teeth that they'll use to kind of mask what they're doing. So I completely get why people were suspicious of this email, for any reason. I mean, I've got other emails where I was like, this seems kind of off, and I just don't trust it, and I just kind of back away from it from other companies and everything. But definitely don't blame anyone for being suspicious of it, and I'm glad that people were kind of doing their, I don't know if you want to call it due diligence, but they were doing everyone a favor by making posts about it and saying, because that was mainly, they were saying possible scam email related to Rooster Teeth, and they were posting it on there, and that's where Barbara confirmed it. So it's good to know that people were kind of looking out for everyone else just in case, and trying to reduce the number of people who maybe would have been had in that if that was a scam. But so moving on to the next topic here. I want to talk about the Rooster Teeth Spring Event Series. This I did see the Spring Event Series, but I guess for whatever, when I first saw it, I just kind of scrolled right by it. I didn't even realize what it was. But actually reading about it, I'm pretty excited about it because basically I'll read the description here, but the Spring Event Series is effectively replacing like AH Live and different stuff like that. So it's an online event, but it's their, I guess, attempt to put on a live show and everything in the sort of the vein of AH Live, or whatever you want to call it. So the Spring Event Series is May 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. So obviously that's all a week apart, and it says 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're not in the Eastern time zone, or if you're saying like the UK, you're going to have to do that math yourself. But I live in the Eastern time zone, so that benefits me perfectly. I know exactly when that is. But the show description is, the Spring Event Series is a new collection of Rooster Teeth shows turned virtual events. In place of our beloved in-person theater events, we're taking the shows online. Spend your Friday with your favorite Rooster Teeth group and get ready to play along, get involved, and share big laughs. Grab your front row seat and join us 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern each Friday in May. Ticket holders will get access to a private Zoom link to watch each event in a 30-minute private post-show Q&A. And it says, want more? We got you. Select talent will also be doing private one-on-one 2-minute meet and greets after the Q&A wraps, sold separately. These tickets will go fast. Make sure you nab yours. Blah, blah, blah. So, just for, I mean, I guess if anyone wants to get tickets or whatever, I'll put a link to this in description for the YouTube video, and I'll put it in the description for the podcast episode. But the actual breakdown is, it's not all like, so they're a week apart, but they're not all the same show. So it's not like every single Friday in May it's going to be Achievement Hunter Live every single time. But the first one sounds like it's basically going to be kind of like Achievement Hunter Live. So May 7th is Achievement Hunter Games. It's all for the gold. Who in Achievement Hunter will reign supreme as the champion of champions? Which team will be named the best gamers to ever game? Everything has led to this moment. And then it lists the show talent, but it is just the Achievement Hunter people. It's interesting because Fiona is listed in this for May 7th. Obviously, she has just, she hasn't stepped away entirely from Rooster Teeth, but she has, taken the job at G4 and is only going to be in select things. But it's it's interesting that she is going to be a part of like this kind of big event. So Fiona will be there for the May 7th show, and it will also be available for the meet and greets as well. She's listed in here. So that's what May 7th is. I scrolled up too far. Oh, wow, this thing scrolls really fast. That's why I scrolled too far. So May 14th, it's Murder from the Top Rope, a championship wrestling role-play mystery. When a popular professional wrestler is found dead under mysterious circumstances, the WWFH wrestlers must set aside their petty rivalries and come together to catch a maniac muscle murderer before more beautiful bodies pile up. Get ready for a no-holds-bar fatal 5-way match. Ooh, yeah. And then it's Funhouse. It's James, Elise, Daniel, Charlotte, and Ryan. And the same group. I believe everyone that's listed there, other than Charlotte, is available for the meet and greet for that one. So the May 21st is Face Jam Ghost Kitchen. Our heroes have missed out on a lot of limited time food, and the only way we can get these creations is by enlisting a medium chef who will conjure, cook from the dead off menu. Our heroes will also be doing a snack attack from hell, spicy snacks. Everything that I said in this voice was in parentheses. Show talent is Michael, Jordan, Eric, and Nick. So obviously it's Face Jam. And the meet and greet, it says it's all four of them together. So I guess they're doing it as a team there. And then finally on May 28th, it says Live from Hell, an interactive game show Hextravaganza. Join the crew of Good Morning from Hell and special guests for a once-in-a-lifetime experience where you, the audience, run the show and compete for prizes. We'll have a game show with special guests followed by a live video podcast recording, and most exciting of all, Q&A. I was never good at reading out loud in school, and I think it comes across like strongly when we do these episodes. But and then for the show talent, just lists Blaine, Chris, and then it says and special guests. So they're not revealing who that is just yet, but it does say show meet and greets. The show meet and greets are starting at 5:30. It says 5:36 p.m. Eastern. Maybe that's supposed to be Central and Eastern, or maybe it's hard to tell because to me that I read that as like a time frame. It's 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So I'm assuming that's how I'm taking it right now. It says ticket holders will have access to a virtual 2-minute meet and greet with participating talent on a Zoom session at a scheduled time, and then separate ticket is required. And they give you some tips, or not tips, but it's like some advice for having strong internet and all that kind of stuff. So it's a full-blown event. It looks like tickets to... I'm not sure if you buy one ticket, if it's good for every event. It says that the price is $20 to $55. I would assume the $55 would be if you were doing the meet and greet and everything. But let me see here. So... yeah, it looks like that's what it is. The tickets are per event, so it does look like it is. It's $20 per show. So if you wanted to do the Achievement Hunter games, that's one. If you wanted to do the Face Jam, that's another. So it would cost you $40. I guess there's fees and everything else, but it's $20 for each individual event. And it looks like the meet and greets are... I'm wondering, because it says it's $50, which seems like a lot for a meet and greet. Yeah, and it goes by person. Yeah, I don't know, but like it's $50. It seems like per person. That seems like a lot to meet. Like, you know, because it's like the Achievement Hunter one, it's $50 to meet Alfredo or Fiona or Jeremy or whatever. And I'm really just saying that's a lot based off of their previous prices. Like, I think, if I remember correctly, when they did RTX at home, the meet and greet prices, I want to say, were $20 or $30. So I'm surprised that it went up by, you know, in some cases more than double. But, well, I shouldn't say in some cases. If it was $20, it went up by more than double. But, yeah, so it's something you have to buy tickets for. Obviously, like I said, having to spend $20 on each individual event could add up if you wanted to see them all. But if you were just looking forward to one of them, then, you know, $20 is is not a huge ask. I mean, that's the price of, I don't know, I'd say that's the price of, I guess, I'm trying to think of what, I'm trying to think of, I guess if we went, I'm trying to think for us personally here, it's like if we went to our luxury theater to see a movie, if like Renee and I, $20 if we were both of us watching it, is roughly about, because I think those tickets are like $11 each or something. So it's like, it's basically like if we went to go see a movie. But yeah, so that's coming up, and it's like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what comes out of this and what they do with it. It's I'm trying to figure out. I guess probably the one I would obviously want to see the most would be the Achievement Hunter one, the first Achievement Hunter games. Because honestly, Renee listens to Good Morning from Hell all the time. I still have yet to listen to an episode of that. Face Jam I've heard here and there. And the Funhouse ones, it's like Funhouse. It's kind of the same thing. I kind of watch Funhouse here and there. It's not something that I watch like all the time. Achievement Hunter, I would say, is our primary kind of gateway into everything Rooster Teeth. So if I was gonna go, watch one to, on out of any of them, for me it would be the Achievement Hunter games one. So that is the Rooster Teeth Spring Event series. The next one is finally having is finally having some clarity on Jack's podcast because, of course it scrolled. Okay. I had it perfectly where I wanted it on my screen. And then whenever I switched over, it was like scrolled up. But finally having some clarity on Jack's podcast. It's been teased for, I don't even know, how long. He's been talking about it. There's been, we talked about it, I think even last week or the week before about, the last episode or the episode before about how he posted like the really close up images of the logo and how he was like teasing Eric about everything. And I know he said that there'll be more information coming soon, but the podcast is called Annual Pass. And I think when we were going through and trying to basically speculating on what it could be that Jack would make a podcast about, I think the closest guess I had was that Jack loves Disney, meaning like Disney World, Disneyland. And this is like a much more broad idea than that. But yeah, so Annual Pass, the actual show description for the podcast is Jack Patillo and Jeff Ramsey lead an audience through their love of theme parks, theme park news, and a focus on a new ride every week. Jack is a super fan of theme parks, and Jeff is an up-and-coming theme park fan in the making. I'm just happy to have Jaff. Is that what they're called when they're together? Jeff and Jack together on a podcast, again, as being the two OG Achievement Hunter members. So it's nice to see them kind of getting back in. And I like that Jeff is being kind of almost brought back into the fold in different ways in terms of content. Because, once he kind of took his new job, he mostly phased out of Achievement Hunter. And obviously with Fuckface and everything else, he's kind of popped back. And he's in the new You Dead, You Dead. So it's like he has come back here and there. But it's nice to see him continuing to be in new content. But Jack has posted a lot about about his podcast. He did an AMA on Reddit. He talked about he had an important call about it that he was really excited about. The first episode is coming out. Oh wait, actually I had it pulled up there, and I just scrolled away from it. I want to say was it the 22nd? Yes, April 22nd. So it comes out on April 22nd. So it's a little more than a week away from when I'm recording this, but he's posted on his Twitter account several different little updates and different things to know about it. Annual Pass itself has it has its own Twitter account that you can follow for updates and everything. I'm actually just looking here that Universal Orlando Resort tweeted at him talking about how they're excited for it, which I'm sure there's a lot of theme parks, especially after everything being shut down for COVID. I'm sure they're excited for the free PR and press and everything else from this podcast. But Jack has been a longtime fan of just amusement parks in general. Personally, I have never really been someone drawn to amusement parks. I pretty much, if I ride a roller coaster, if I spin too much, I will be sick for the rest of the day. So amusement parks are not exactly my like my realm. So I'm sure I'll listen to it just to see, how what the show's like and everything else, and to learn information about different parks, or get a feel for it. But being that I am not a amusement park aficionado, I'm not sure if this will be one that'll be in my constant rotation. But I'm really excited to see like this passion project come like basically be realized for Jack, and also I guess like the possibilities, because I remember I think it was either on the subreddit or maybe it was a response to like, or like someone tweeted in response to Jack's like announcement, but they were saying how like Jack basically talked about years ago on when the Bruce Heath podcast was still a drunk tank possibly, about how he would love to do something related to theme parks and like to go around and like, I think it was like review different theme parks. And I was like, when I read that, I was like, I kind of had like a vague, loose memory of him talking about that. And I was like, yeah, this does kind of add up, and really, it's like, I guess I would say it's on brand for Jack. I mean, he's loved theme parks and has talked about them for such a long time. And I feel like it's something that he doesn't mention as much anymore, but I know like historically he's mentioned a lot. Or if he's mentioned it recently, maybe I just blocked it out because I'm just used to him talking about it. But I do feel like I remember him mentioning a lot of theme park stuff years ago, just constantly. So, makes a lot of sense for what he's been teasing, what he wants to do, and like I said, I'm just happy to see him and Jeff back together, or not back together, but working together on a project like this. So, only time will tell. We'll see how this goes and what comes out of it. But it seems like it's something that could potentially have a big upside for Jack personally when it comes to amusement parks. But moving on to the next subject. So this was just kind of a funny update that I saw right before I started doing this. It has to do with Fuckface's Twitter account. Apparently, this whole time, and again, I'll link this for everyone to read themselves, either in the description for the YouTube video or the podcast. But basically, the Fuckface podcast has not been run by Rooster Teeth this whole time. It like people said, I honestly don't even know if this is a bit or not, but I've not been following the lore of Fuckface as heavily as everyone else has that's really into it. So I would not be surprised if this was a bit, but I also don't have a reason to believe it just reading through it. And basically it's a couple paragraphs long, and the person, I'll read the first part of it at least, that just says, yeah, there's no easy way to say this, so I'm just going to say it. For the last 7 months, Fuckface Pod has been run by an imposter. I have no affiliation with Rooster Teeth or any of the cast members. In the next few days, the account will be transferred to Rooster Teeth, and I will no longer have any involvement with it. So then this person moves on to say, like, you maybe ask yourself a few questions, and they'll try their best to answer it. And they go through, like, why did you do this? Are you affiliated with Rooster Teeth? What did you expect to happen? Things like that. So they go through this several explanations as to what, how this happened and everything else. And basically, let me find. There was one part of it. Okay, so like the why did you do this? It says, I noticed that there wasn't a Twitter account for the podcast like the rest of the ones Rooster Teeth makes, and decided to play a little prank. I thought it would be funny as well as fitting the theme of the show. I did not expect this to go on this long or to get this many followers without being called out as fake. At some other point, they talk about how Jeff followed the account and everything else. So they were pretty sure that they were in on the joke and everything else. But one of the things they said is like they had to stay up till 3 a.m. to listen to the podcast in order to make like accurate tweets. So they were running it like this was something they were being paid to do, like a not a community manager, but like a social media manager would be doing. So yeah, it was like I said, you can read through this yourself because it's several paragraphs, but to me it was really funny. And actually, I think it's the last, or was it the last? No, it's where they talk about the 3 a.m. So so this one says, why are you giving up control of the account? It says, I plan on giving up the account once it hit 10,000 followers. Because of the account being tagged earlier today, this happened a week or two earlier than I had planned. Also, running this account required me to stay up till 3 a.m. and listen to the podcast in order to set up the tweets, which is very disruptive to my sleep schedule. I guess I really fuckfaced myself on that one. To me, that was like, that is the summary. It is so on par for the podcast and the absurdity that comes out of that show. So it was, to me, it's almost just keeps increasing the lore of fuckface. And all of like essentially Fuckface has just been a series of inside jokes that just keep coming. They just keep coming out. And it's, having not listened to it every week, it's one of those things that I just see people referencing stuff. And I'm like, there's a whole thing going on with baseball cards right now. And I don't know what it means at all. I don't know what the fuck any of that means. But that's pretty much, it's been one like inside joke after another. And I feel like this is just another layer onto that, so it makes a lot of sense for fuckface. If there's one podcast in the Rooster Teeth world that would have something like this happen, it's fuckface. Let's be honest. But yeah, it was a really funny update to me, and I'm happy this information came out because it delighted me. So the last thing I'll kind of go through here is the more live productions are happening. So obviously, I talked about I think it was 2 episodes ago, I believe, with how Off Topic was going back to being in studio, which they actually are not doing like the week that this comes out, because they said someone got a cold, which I think it was Michael. I think because Michael replied to the tweet saying like, I ruined it for everybody. But yeah, this past Monday, the RT podcast did its first in-person, in studio RT podcast, which was, again, for me, it's I like seeing them back in the studio, being back together. I enjoy that dynamic a lot more. And also they did a Let's Roll, which I think they called something else now. Let me pull it up as I'm talking here, but I think it's called Unroly Rollers, I think is what was the name of it. Because it was. We didn't watch it yet. I know we're going to because it looks ridiculous. Yeah, Unruly Rollers, and it's Michael, Lindsay, Trevor, and Matt, and it looks like they're all playing ridiculous, dumb characters. I don't even know what game they're playing. It just says a 90s zombie story. Let's Roll presents Unruly Rollers, but I'm happy to see them kind of rolling out piece by piece more in studio stuff, because obviously Awu has been doing that. So I've said it before, and it, I guess it just bears repeating, but I've been in support of them doing stuff back in the studio because, obviously there's a pandemic going on. It's a virus that's causing a lot of problems for a lot of people, but to me, it's like we know a lot about the virus, and there's safe ways to do this, and I think there is a dynamic that, they are an entertainment company, so there's a dynamic that's lost when you do it over Zoom, and I feel like their best product is put out there when they're all together. Now, I'm not saying take unnecessary risks in order to deliver that product, but I don't feel like they're doing that. They're doing all kinds of testing, and I know several people have been vaccinated now. There's like less people that are going on the set. It's one of those things that is just, to me, I don't see an issue with it, and it allows them to put out their best product, which is them all together in a room. And right now, at least, it'll be, again, it remains to be seen if it's something that will continue. But obviously, it's something that's been brought up by a lot of people, including people who were commenting on our Fiona video. But basically, it's the thing that always goes around about Rooster Teeth is dying and all that kind of stuff, because their views have absolutely taken a hit over the course of the pandemic. And I talked about before and everything else that I just had a feeling that once they're back in the studio, that they would see a jump in the views, because it's that dynamic is, I think it is felt when they're doing stuff over Zoom and people can't hear each other and jokes are being stepped on. People are talking and no one can even hear them because someone else is talking, and just the way that like video chat prioritizes audio and everything. So it's like, there's just a lot of things that are very small. So it's maybe it doesn't sound like a lot, but it just affects that chemistry and that rhythm of everyone being together. But what I was going to, or why I bring that up is that right now, at least, it does seem like they have had a boost in views. Whether that'll last, again, it remains to be seen. But, so for instance, they did, I'm trying to go. Okay. So the off topic, I think it's the last off topic they did before they were in studio. I think it looks like it. So, it was off topic 273, and this is as of recording, obviously. But 273 was from a month ago. It has 41,000 views. The next one, 274, has 142,000 views, which was the very first one back in the studio. So obviously, I feel like that one was going to get a boost because it was the first one back anyway. But basically an increase of 100,000, which is pretty significant. The next one, 275, has 74,000 views. So it more than the last one in person, and then since then it's 78,000, 55,000. Like, there has been a boost, 55,000 for the most recent one. So it is something that has seen a little bit of a jump compared to some of the other ones. Now, granted that, like, the one from I'm looking at 270 has 50,000 views right now. So it's like it's not incredible. And I'm also talking, the one that has 55,000 views just came up 4 days ago. So it's like, it does have a lot of time to kind of make up for that. But same thing with like Awu. Awu has, the most recent one has 24, it came out 2 days ago, has 24,000 views. The last one has 46,000 views. If I scroll back to Awu before, I just had it too and I already lost it. Yeah. The Awu from a month ago is 21,000. So the one from 2 days ago has more views than the one from a month ago. So there has been a slight boost in their views, and it seems like people are kind of more engaged. I'm assuming the RT podcast is the same. I didn't actually look at it though, but there has been a little bit of an uptick. So I hope that continues and they can kind of get back on track in terms of views. But funny enough though, I have not seen and I'm not saying it hasn't existed, but last time that they did a kind of an announcement that they were going to be doing a show in studio, they got the pushback for being in studio, how they felt like this was dangerous and something they didn't need to do and all that stuff. I did not see that for this one. Maybe I just wasn't looking, and maybe it's just because when the off-topic one happened, there were so many subsequent tweets from like Trevor and Michael and stuff, like defending it and like pointing out things that I felt like were pretty kind of obvious and in some cases anyway. And then Michael made to reveal rather that he had been vaccinated. So it's like, it is one of those. It's one of those things that I very easily could have missed because I have been, just in a personal way, have been more busy than I have been in previous episodes. So it's made something went over my head, but I did not see it this time. And for reference, the RT podcast that came out a day ago has 54,000 views, and the one from a week ago has 61,000. So it's almost there in a single day. So it does seem like it helped with that. And the one from 3 weeks ago has 37,000. So I hope it does help with they're back in studio, and I hope that it kind of continues to climb and at least, come close to returning to what it was. But yeah, I'm also happy to see that people seem to be on board with it now, and aren't just upset. And although there was a comment we got too, which I wasn't gonna go through comments on this episode. We've gotten a lot more since the last episode that we put out. Maybe I should just switch. Actually, let me just actually pull it up, because just to be fair to what the person actually commented. But it was essentially their comment was about something that we had talked about at that time, about the kind of the pushback that Rooster Teeth had gotten. And one of the things I had said was about how basically, like, they had done so many things in person that no one batted an eye at, but then all of a sudden this was what they were getting mad at. And so this person's comment was also weird, because they posted something and then they replied to it and said, also weird sidebar. The defense of, well, we've been doing it for a few weeks and it wasn't a problem before is kind of goofy in a world where many people don't keep up with content regularly for months at a time. I know a lot of people live in the universe of watching all of a channel's content and knowing their entire lineup, but for a lot of people, after just a few weeks of some live content that certainly is not the mainly consumed content of the channel, there's a decent chance they won't know that live content has been happening in small portions. Just to the context of, well, why wasn't a problem before? Because the people upset about it now didn't know about it before, I'd guess. I feel like it's an easy conclusion to reach. I do feel like I need to point out that the ease of conclusion to get to does not determine its validity. If the ease of a conclusion determined how good of an argument it was, then the Earth would be flat. But now the problem I had with this comment was that they kind of established the parameters for the argument and then used it as if it was a proven fact, which it was basically referring to many people. Where'd it go? Yeah, many people don't watch on a regular basis. Many people don't keep up with the content regularly for months at a time. It's like, well, I don't know that that's a fact that we can just base everything going forward off of. And it says, I know a lot of people in the universe or live in the universe of watching all the channel's content and knowing their entire lineup. But for a lot of people, just a few weeks of some live content that certainly is not the mainly consumed content of the channel, there's a decent chance they won't know that live content was happening in small portions. Of course, there's people that are like that. I mean, I'm not saying that this is a scenario that doesn't exist. I think my problem with it is that I don't think there's any way you can argue that they would make up the majority of the people who are were pushing back against them going back to studio. Because especially if because basically you'd have to say that people missed all of the promotion and discussion and all the posts and everything that came along with Extra Life. And then everything that happened afterward, like clips and highlights and, again, things like discussions, talking about a podcast, all of that kind of stuff, and everything being in person, everything promoted for Dead Little Roosters, all the stuff times they talked about on podcast, everything else, all that stuff would have went over their head. But a small post from Trevor on the Rooster Teeth site was what they all found. Like, if many people aren't keeping up with content, I just have a hard time believing that they would miss all this huge push on one side, but somehow would find this one small post about off topic being, in person. It just didn't really add up to me. But it's this is one of those things I'm not necessarily just finding. I mean, I guess I am technically, but I'm not trying to just find one person and just go after them. But I was trying to actually respond to people who were specifically talking about things that we had said. Most of the comments we've gotten, since the video came out, have just been about Fiona or people having their own arguments with each other and just about whether or not Fiona's funny. And it's its own thing. But since this one was specifically about something that we had said, I felt like it was, I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't really planning on going through comments today, but since it is related to, the end of the topic list, it seemed more appropriate. But yeah, that was just kind of a weird one of why wasn't a problem before and people not knowing about it. Because I'm sure people didn't know about it, obviously. I mean, how could you? Not everyone's going to know, but it was odd to kind of compare, or not compare, but say they wouldn't have known about this huge thing, but this tiny little thing is where they all flock to. It's I don't know. That was a weird one. But yeah, I think this will probably be the end of the episode. I almost made it an hour, just shy, but that's gonna be it for this one. I don't know if there was, maybe I did make it to an hour. I don't know. Maybe there was something that came up after I've recorded this and it'll fill out the last 15-ish minutes here. But thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for all the people who have been watching and commenting, even if it has just been a lot of negativity in some cases. But we've been looking for and wanting to have any type of feedback on stuff that we've done. So even if it is not necessarily on about us or anything, it is nice to know, or it is nice to actually have people who are having discussions on something that we made. So happy and very excited for, what has come with this. And also thank you for everyone who's subscribed, because when we posted before we posted the Fiona video, I think our subscribers have tripled since then, I believe, since since we posted the Fiona video. So we've gotten, triple of 3 is 9. So doesn't necessarily mean we have extraordinary numbers, but still, just based on math alone, it's awesome. And I welcome everybody on board. I thank you for subscribing and everything. So I will stop rambling here at the end, because I feel like we end every episode just thanking people constantly, but I'll stop doing that and just say we will see you or I guess we won't see you, but you'll hear us on Wednesday for Out in the Grapes. And then in 2 weeks, we have another new episode of RT Talk. And that's it. Hopefully next time I will be with someone here who can add to the conversation, and I will not just be talking to a computer screen, but we'll see. So thank you, everybody, and